Hi everyone, welcome to the Knitting Turnpike and welcome to the second vlog of 2024. My name is Gina Pike. I'm so happy to have you here with me today. Today we're going to be doing an update on all my works in progress. I think some of these are new that you've never seen before. I have 3 finished projects that I want to share with you today. And some of these are from when I was working on them during the Vlogmas time. And you'll get to see the finished objects. You got to see me work on them during December. So now I want to share the finished object with you. And I have some beautiful yarn and stitch markers to share with you. And then we'll have one upcoming event that I want to talk about and share with you. And so maybe you'll want to participate. If you're ready, I am ready. Let's get started. Again, welcome. I'm so happy to have you here with me today, and I hope you're all doing well. I mean, my goodness, what a week for the United States and Canada. I mean, what a cold week. I live in Texas, and we had really frigid weather all week. I think on Tuesday we woke to it being 9 degrees Celsius. No, I'm sorry, 9 degrees Fahrenheit. Which is really cold for us. I mean, a single digit Fahrenheit temperature below freezing, really cold for us. And the weatherman was saying, they were joking about how we were colder than it was in Fairbanks, Alaska that day. Because that day it was 17 Fahrenheit in Alaska, and it was 9 Fahrenheit here in Texas. It was so funny. We were laughing about that and having a good time. If you don't mind, I want to show you just a little clip. I don't ever really get to film snow. This is something really cool that happened this week, and boy, we wore 2 pairs of socks, 2 shirts. I wore fleece-lined pants and just under blankets. It was really, we're not ready for this. And I mean, we have a furnace too. I mean, don't think that we don't have heat. It still just was a little chilly for our liking. So today it has warmed up into the 40s, and we're like, yes, it feels like there's an end to it, but I think it's going to be another Arctic snap on Friday. So the weather has been brutal. But let me share this clip with you so you can see the little bit of snow and ice we got here in Texas. Good morning. It is Monday morning in Texas, and we are waking up this morning to 9 degrees of weather. It's 9 degrees. It went from 109 to 9 in a matter of just a few months. We've seen 100 degrees of change. We have a little bit of ice on our yard and on our street. I'm able to walk on it. It's probably maybe ice with a little bit of snow because I'm not slipping too bad. But look how pretty it is. And it is cold. Oh my goodness, is it cold. But that is what we have this morning. I still got my Christmas flag up. I need to take it down, but that is our yard. That's what's going on. It's pretty quiet. Here comes a car, not slipping too bad. Of course, they're not stopping at the stop sign. Isn't that beautiful? I mean, we don't really get that very often. I think the last time was in 2021, and that was a brutal storm as well. That lasted quite a few days, and we lost some trees, had some damage to our pool equipment from that storm. Still trying to get things right from all of that. Anyway, I know that the next upcoming storm is going to be tomorrow on Friday. I'm filming this on Thursday this week. Trying to get a little bit of extra editing time in. But I think on Friday we're supposed to have another cold snap, another below freezing a couple of days. So I think winter is officially here. And we're feeling it here in Texas, which is very unusual. So I always like to kind of start out my vlogs with what am I wearing today? And today I have a blast to the past. This project is from 2011. Now I started loom knitting in 2010. At the end of 2010, I started learning how to crochet. And I made this early in 2011. Now, this is a shawl pattern. It is, the name of it is the Savannah Shawl. The designer is Randy Cavalier. I did this back in 2011, and I made this. This yarn is made in a yarn not even made anymore. It was naturallycaron.com, their country line, which is a worsted weight acrylic yarn. And this was back when Caron was their own yarn company before they got purchased by Yarnspirations and merged into all that big company. And they used to have on their website patterns in their yarn and from designers, and this was one of the patterns on their website. Now, the funny story is about this shawl is that I'm going to show you it in a minute, is that I was bragging to my mom, oh, I learned how to crochet. So I was like, pick anything on that website and I'll make it for you. And of course she picked this. I had never done a granny square in my life. And as you can see, this yarn is black. So she picked a granny square. You had to join them as you went along, which I'd never done that before either. And she picked black yarn. I about died. This was so hard to do. But this is the shawl. It's really a unique construction. You can see it has 2 granny squares down at the bottom, and then it doubles right there, doubles right there, and doubles right there. And you just kind of wear it draped over your shoulders. My mom loved this shawl. It's black, and then she picked a chocolate brown to do for the picot. I had a picot edge. I'd never done a picot edge. There's tons of mistakes in this, I'm really, really sure. But I didn't even give it to my mom blocked. I had to block it again recently. I wish I had blocked it better for my mom so she could have had it to wear when she was alive. But I'm wearing this in honor of my mom. And it was the first thing I ever made her besides a simple scarf that she had picked out herself. So I thought it would be fun to see this very old crochet shawl that I did a very, very long time ago. Again, this is, 12 years old? Anyway, so that's what I'm wearing today in honor of my mom. And again, that is the Savannah Shawl from Randy Cavalier. And I do have it in my project groupings in Ravelry if you are interested in looking at it. I don't think the pattern is available anymore. Again, it was on the Caron.com website. So I don't think you can get it anymore, but you could do an adaptation of it. Find a granny square that you like and just stagger it if you want. Just start with 2, then do 4, then do 6, then do 8, and just seam them as you go along. So you could make this yourself if you wanted to, just with your own granny square that you might like. So anyway, it's an easy pattern now, but back then it was very, very hard for me. The finished objects, and I have 3 of these. Now 2 of these I'm going to share. One of them I'm just going to give you a little bit of a glimpse into it. The first one I have to share with you, you guys saw me working on this during the Advent during Advent time. This is Advent knitting at its finest, and this was knit with the Advent box that I got from Suburban Stitcher this year. And this was, her box was her sock yarn, 75-25 merino nylon, and it was in all pink colors. It's called I'm Dreaming of a Pink Christmas. And this is what the finished shawl ended up looking like. Am I on the right side? Nope, I'm showing you the wrong side. All right, I always do that. But if you remember, it used 25 mini skeins of yarn. I'm hoping the detail shows up on this. And there's a lot of different details. Every other day you kind of did the garter stitch, and then you had like a tougher section. And there were times when you would put your stitches on one side and only work on one side. But this is what the shawl, finished shawl, looks like. Isn't that pretty? I'm dreaming of a pink. This is called the Grand Opening Shawl. not I'm Dreaming of a Pink Christmas. That was the yarn. But the grand opening shawl, the designer was Telly Bean Knits, who is Stephanie Loatman, and the pattern was very well written. I did not have any issues with it. It was a lot of fun to make, and I do have a clip, kind of goes into further detail about it. So let me insert that, and that way you can kind of get a little bit closer look at all of the details in this beautiful shawl. Hi everybody, I just wanted to take a moment while I have this pinned out and show you what the grand opening shawl looks like with a blocking board behind it, because I know when I hold it up and show you in my room, it might be a little hard to see with me standing behind it. So this is it. This is the grand opening shawl by Telly Bean Knits, who is Stephanie Loatman. This was the Advent knitting shawl she designed for Suburban Stitcher Advent, which this is the yarn I used, was the Suburban Stitcher Advent, which was called I'm Dreaming of a Pink Christmas. All the yarns are pink. Can there be anything more adorable? A shawl in all pink yarns. This was amazing. I really enjoyed knitting this year, and so glad that I had the opportunity to do it. Now, if you remember, I shared a lot of this in the blog. This was one of the few knits I did keep up each day. This was designed to do with 25 days of yarn scraps, 25 days of knitting. Every day you got a clue. As you can see, the pattern is super big, well worth the money that you if you didn't get it in an Advent kit, that you spent for it. I know she had it on sale for $3.20. So many wonderful instructions, so many wonderful video tutorials. Anyway, this is how it broke down. We started days 1 through 5 like in a little triangle, and I'll show you here. It started up here. Now she had 2 cast-ons. It's this small triangle here. You could do a regular garter tab cast-on, or she shows you how to do a beautiful new alternate rolled edge garter tab cast on, and I did that. I think it looks really amazing. The great thing is that the edging up here blended seamlessly with the edging that she continued on throughout the rest of the shawl. Amazing. If you haven't tried it, I will link the video below. Go take a look at it. It's always fun to learn a new cast on, and this was really genius and super easy to do if you don't like doing a regular garter tab cast on. The second day we did this beautiful stockinette, twisted stockinette stitch. Isn't that pretty? As you can see, we got our center spine going down here. This is a triangular shaped shawl. The next day we did a regular garter stitch. Every other day we kind of alternated the garter stitch. Now as you can see, my garter stitch is pretty pulled. I love to block my shawls aggressively to open up the lace. Day 4 was this beautiful section here, these lace triangles. Isn't that really pretty, all opened up? Now you can see what they look like with it being blocked. And just look how pretty that is around that center edge. Now a lot of the increases were done around the center spine, doing the make one right, make one left. I do have a tutorial for that on my channel if you're interested in how to do those types of increases. We also did some increases on the edge to make the shawl grow. I believe there was a 4-stitch increase on the right side, none on the wrong side. Then day 5 we did garter stitch again, garter stitch, a more complex section than garter stitch. That was it for the triangle. On day 6, we got creative and we came over to this side. We put these stitches on this side on a holder. We came over here, we did day 6 here. This is called the sand stitch for day 6, a beautiful simple eyelet lace section, really pretty. Then day 7 was a garter stitch section. Days 6 through 9 were all on this side. Day 8, we did this beautiful section called eyelet rows. As you can see right there, this one right here. Then we did another garter stitch section. Then on day 10, we were done on this side. All of these stitches over here were put on a holder. We came over to this side. This is on day 10. This is where we came over here. It started right here. On day 10, we did these dropped eyelet stitches. As you can see, we did this stitch where we brought this stitch over 3 stitches and created this beautiful dropped section. Really pretty. Day 11 was a garter stitch section. Day 12 was a was this section. It's a little bit harder to see, but it's called Raindrops. It is textured. It is more than just garter stitch knitting. Day 13 was garter stitch knitting again. And that was it for that side. On day 14, we stopped and we came back over to this side. And we picked up, we had this stitches over here, and we picked up all the stitches over here, and we started knitting on both sides again to do a V for both sides. That's this first section right here. As you can see, it goes all the way around. We picked up all these stitches right here, and then we started knitting that, and then we came around here. And day 14 is called Ripples. It's a beautiful, simple lace section. None of these lacy sections, none of these are any type of hard knitting. I think the hardest part of knitting the shawl is the construction of the shawl, switching back and forth from side to side, and picking up the stitches and making sure it looks nice and neat. That looks a little bit maybe wonky right there for me, but it's just a little minor thing, and I'm not going to stress about it because I still think this looks really pretty. All right, for day 15 is just a simple garter stitch section. Now for days 14 through 17, we are knitting across both sides of the shawl. So you can see the garter stitch goes along both sides here. Then day 16 is a section called Seated Ribbing, which is really beautiful. Just simple ribbing stitches, both sides. Day 17 is a garter stitch section on both sides. Then on day 18, we came over to this side. We put the stitches over here on a holder. All these are on a holder. And we came over here to focus on this side. I think I talked about this a lot in my last vlog. This was the section that gave me the worst trouble. And it was not hard. It was just alternating a couple of stitches, a purl 3 together, and a purl front, back, front. But for some reason, my brain didn't wrap around it very well. It is called Lace Dots. Isn't that pretty all opened up? You can see why she called it Lace Dots. Looks like just pretty, pretty lace. And then that was day 18. Again, we're just working on the side. Day 19 is just a garter stitch. Day 20 is this section called Easy Squares. And you can kind of see there is a little bit of texture here. There's a line here, 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 kind of making a square section of that. And then day 21 is another garter stitch section. We also finished this side off. This is where we finished it off. It is, we did the garter stitch, and then we did an eyelet, and then we did a bind off where she showed you how to do an easy 2-stitch I-cord bind off, which was unique. I've always done like a 3-stitch I-cord bind off. That was a lot of fun. She has a video tutorial for that. I'll link it below. And then you also do, at the end, you end up over here, at the very end, you end up with 4 stitches instead of 6, and you do a Kitchener bind off to close that up right in here. And that was really fun to do a different type of a Kitchener with 4 stitches. It's just a unique way to do it, a unique way to look at it, to learn how to do things that you already know how to do, modifying the stitch count, and I really enjoyed that. All right, since we had bound off these stitches, all we had left was these stitches that were on a holder over here. This is day 22. We came over here and we did this section here. It's just called Easy Circles. And we're just going to be focusing on this side of the shawl now. Since that side's bound off, we're just finishing this up and making it a little more even. And the center spine is shifting. As you can see, it was over here for a while, and now it's shifted over here for this. And then it's going to shift again when you get over here and come down through here. So it's just an interesting construction. Again, this was Easy Circles, doing a simple knot stitch, or where you do a drop stitch and then you do like a knit, yarn over knit to create that eyelet in there. Really pretty, goes all the way to the end. Day 23 was just a simple garter stitch section. Day 24 was this section here called Shifting Lace. Again, she's just shifting the eyelet rows over and over. That's what that looks like. And then day 25 was mimics the other side, a garter stitch section, and then with an eyelet row, and then a bind off, again doing the 2-stitch I-cord bind off. Let me show you what that looks like so you can see what it ended up. It's just a really nice, super stretchy bind off with great memory. So if you're washing this, it'll bounce back really nice and everything, but it's just a simple I-cord bind off. Maybe less bulky than a 3-stitch I-cord bind off. And then at the end, we ended up with 4 stitches, and we did a Kitchener down there to close that up. And that is the shawl. 25 days of knitting. I know that was a little long. I hope that was okay that I shared all of that. I just didn't want to miss anything. And also I feel like it can give you guys a glimpse into if you may want to make this yourselves or not. So, but it's a beautiful shawl. I love it. I love the pink colors. I loved the yarn. I loved knitting it over the Christmas break. It was fun. There was like 12 rows that you had to knit every day. So it wasn't too much. And it was a good get me back into the knitting process again after I had taken off after my mom passed. All right, that's the first item. The second item is the MCal calendar stole. Now I started this also during Advent. I have knitted this the last 5 years. This is the 5th year I've knitted it. I'll flash my projects from the last few years over the screen. Now, as you can see, me flashing these over myself, I've always kind of knitted neutral colors. And what this is it's a pattern by Bridget Koch. And what she does is she works during the year and she creates these stitch patterns based on normal stitch patterns, but she modifies them some. And she makes it into the stole, which is a rectangular wrap. And then to connect them, she has this interlude section where you have just a little bit of lace. All the interlude sections are the same. A little bit of lace, a little bit of beads. If you want to add beads, you always start with a picot cast on and end with a picot bind off. And you can add beads if you want, or if you don't want the beads, you don't have to add the beads. But I always like to add the beads. But this is this year's scarf. Now this year you can see I've knitted a really bold color. This yarn is from Miss Babs. This is their tart yarn. It is 75% merino, 15% nylon, and 10% tencel. It's really a good sock yarn. And I will say this, it is very soft. Just being honest with you guys, I like to be very honest. It was a tad bit splitty, so I did have to pay attention to that, so I wouldn't split it with my lace needles, but I would knit with it again. I have some more in my stash, and it is very soft, which makes up for it being a little bit splitty. So just something to think about when if you are going to be knitting with this. Just pay attention to that. And this color is called Devoted Idea. That's the color. Now, I do not have a clip for this one, so if you don't mind, I'm going to kind of go through each little section, not in detail. I'm just going to show you the sections, but this is what it looks like. It is very hard to photograph because it's very long and it's very lacy. And am I on the right? Yeah, this is the right side. And there are 12 individual patterns that you knit with this. Now, for this one, let's see if I can do this. It started at this end, and this is blocked, so the pattern is stretched out some. Maybe you can see it better. This one is the first one, and you started with a picot bind on, cast on, and you can see the beads at the bottom there, right? And this one's called Frog No. Very, very cute lacy design. The second one is this one right here. And that one is called Peas. I love this next one. It's very lacy and kind of circular. This one's called Love in a Puff. Really pretty. This next one is called Forget-Me-Nots. And it's this one. And what's very interesting about that, it looks like it's cabled, but it's not. You're actually creating floats from bringing the yarn in front of your stitches, and then you're going under those floats to creating these diagonal lines. So those are just floats. You can kind of see they're loose there to create that beautiful diamond pattern. don't know if you can see this is what the interlude looks like. It has little beads in there and a little bit of just some lace created by doing like knit two togethers and yarn overs. Very simple. The fifth pattern is called Leaves, and that is this one. And then the sixth pattern is called Lanterns, and it was a beautiful cabled pattern, as you can see there. This next one is one of my favorites. This is called Moss. It's really cabled, really beautiful. And the next one is called Scales. Turned out really pretty, a little bit more lacy pattern. That's that one right there, Scales. The next one is called Honeycombs. This one was a little bit trickier because you had to do floats behind on the back, and you didn't want to knit them too tight or your knitting would bunch up. But can you see the honeycomb pattern in there? If I don't have it bunched up. Can you see that? Maybe if I do it like this, you can kind of see it. Okay, the next one, pattern number 10, is called Fishes. And that is this one right here. Fishes, just a beautiful lace pattern. Number 11 is called Ants. It's a cabled pattern going back and forth. That's this one. I don't know if you can see it. Let me see if I can. Yeah, it's better with the, if I can get the light to hit it. But you can see the ant. That's called Ants. Isn't that pretty? The texture on that. And then the last one is called Ladybird. And that's this one. And then you ended with a picot bind off with beads. And then you block it, and that's the stole. And you can wear that, you know, out and about. Anyway, that's my second finished object. This beautiful MCAL calendar stole from Bridget Koch. My 5th year to knit this. I think it's my 5th year to knit this. It's always a lot of fun, and it's sponsored by the Never Enough Lace Group. I will link them down below. They do make-alongs all year long, and of course they're all lace and gorgeous. And sometimes they have beads, and the beads are always optional. You don't have to add the beads if you're not a bead person. But if you are, you know, a lot of them have the lace and the beads, and the ladies in that group are so nice. If you are looking for a group to go knit with, go check them out. I highly recommend them. Bridget is the admin of the group, the lady who designed this pattern, and there's also Debbie, and they're just a really nice, fun group of ladies to knit along with, and there's some men in there too. Sorry, I don't mean to, there are men in that group knitting lace as well, so it's a nice group of people to go knit with, and they have beautiful make-alongs. For the make-alongs, you get to see the pattern first, so you know what you're making, and you can kind of, you know, pick the yarn that you think will work the best. This was a mystery, but throughout the year, they're all make-alongs, and you get to see the pattern first. All right, the third finished object I have, I'm just going to give you a glimpse. Now, this one is, I did this to support my friend Judy, who is Judy's Creations in Crochet. She does a monthly make-along, where what she does is she shows you a picture, and based on the picture, you're supposed to make an item that you use the picture for inspiration. Mostly it's for the yarn colors, you know, the yarn colors. And this year, or this month, I decided I would participate. I usually don't get a chance to, but I worked it into my schedule. This is the inspiration picture, and look how colorful that bird is. He's doing tropical birds this year. So what you have to do is you take that picture and you find a pattern and your yarn out of your stash. It is a great way to use up the yarn in your stash, and a great way to use some of your creativity to figure out the right pattern. Make your own pattern. You know, people don't make, I made a shawl, but there's people make washcloths, they make coasters, they make sweaters, they make all kinds of things, socks. And it's not just she's a crochet channel, but there are people who are knitting, submitting items. Now I'm a knitter, so my item is knitted. Now you saw the bird. I'm not going to show you the whole thing. I'm going to wait until after her show. She shows the finished pictures of everybody who is participating, like around the 28th. I think you have to submit them on the 28th, and she shows them at the beginning of, or at the end of the month. Yeah, at the end of the month. So I'm not going to show this until my next vlog, so that you can see it on her show first. But this is you can kind of get an idea of what I made with, these are the colors in it. You can see if it matches the bird or not. So that's just a glimpse of, and I'll show you this in a couple of weeks for my vlogs. What's going to happen is that next Saturday will be the 27th. And I'll be doing a live show with Judy that day instead of doing a vlog. And I will be explaining that a little bit more in the upcoming events section of this vlog. So next week there will be no vlog. So that's why that will wait until February for me to show you. And that'll be plenty of time after Judy has a chance to show it on her show as well. Also, one of the things, for Judy's make-alongs every month, she does spin a wheel for the people who participate, and they get a prize as well. So that is another, you might win some beautiful yarn or whatever she is giving away for that month. It is a lot of fun to see what everybody else creates based on the same picture. So check it out. I'll link her channel down below, and I'm excited to participate this month. I'm not going to participate for the prize. I just participated for the fun of it and creativity of it. But I think you still have time to participate. It is going to be the 20th when you see this. And so if you're pretty fast crocheter or a knitter, you still have you have 8 days to pick something and make it and submit it to Judy by the 28th. So you could still do it if you're interested. Or you can wait till next month as well. I've seen the bird for next month, and it is gorgeous. It's going to be fun to see what people create for that. All right, now let's move into the whips, the works in progress that I have to show you guys. Let's see. The first item I'm going to show you today is called the Go-Go Throw. Now, this is a pattern by Amba O'Brien. I'll insert a few pictures here of what it looks like finished. It is designed, Amba O'Brien has, the last few years, designed a lot of patterns for Advent boxes. So, like, boxes that have like 24 colors, 24 mini skeins. This is one of those patterns. This is the Go-Go Throw. And I decided when I was, after I finished opening some of my Advents, the one that I really thought spoke to me that I wanted to use for the Go-Go Throw, because I really love this design, I really think it's really pretty, was the Amanda Hope Advent that I opened this year. You guys saw me open that during Vlogmas. I like the neutrals, but there are a few pops of color in it. This is what it looked like when I opened it, and she designed this based on Alfonso Mucha's The Seasons pictures, the 4 women that depict the 4 seasons of the year. But I decided to knit this into the Go-Go Throw. Now, there is a main color. It's kind of hard to see on that picture I took. It is just a neutral brown. This is the main color that's going to be the color that goes between all of the little mini colors. It's just a beautiful neutral brown. Now, this is Amanda Hope's sock yarn, kind of sock yarn. It's 85% superwash merino, 15% nylon. It's really soft. Her yarns are really soft. She has a different micron size for her yarn, and it is so soft and so wonderful to knit with. I love her yarns. They are amazing. I'll link her down below, but again, this is Amanda Hope, and this was a picture of her Advent box, which was based on one of that. But I have started it, and I rearranged my colors. You can kind of see there's a section, there's like a little bit of clump of brown in the middle based on that one picture. So I took them and I rearranged them. I wanted to put some browns on both ends and then put some colors in the middle and kind of mix it up a little bit. So this is what I rearranged it, and I'm going to be knitting the blanket in order from left to right as this picture shows now. Tell me if you like that order. I think it would be really pretty and kind of mix up the colors a little bit more. I've done 2 of the colors. I've started it and done 2 of the colors, and I was thinking I need to do about 2 colors a week. It'll be finished in about 3 months, and that gives me an opportunity. I mean, I could sit there and knit the whole thing, and that would be fun. I would love it. But in, doing YouTube, you want to see more than one project. So I thought I would do 2 colors a week, and then I would be able to do other projects as well. So this is the first 2 colors I did. You can kind of see how you do the cast on with that main color. And then you just have this beautiful lacy color that you can see how the first color was to right here. And then this is the second color. And I've started the third color. This is the third color that's going on right now. It's just another brown. And, but that's what it looks like. It's a beautiful, when you block this, it's going to be like that. It's just going to be opened up, little chevrons. And then you block the points down like that. Little lapghan to put over your lap, maybe a little bit bigger than a lapghan, with all the 24 colors of this. But this is what mine is looking like, and I'm super excited. It is really easy and fun to knit. The stitches are really easy, simple lace stitches. The hardest stitches you have is this one that creates this line. It's a slip 2 knit past the 2 slip stitches over that knit stitch to create that line and the chevron. And it lines up every time, so it's real easy to know where it goes. You kind of can memorize the rows, but it's really a 16 row pattern repeat for each color. So each color is 16 rows. I think that's right. No, 14 rows, and then you do the main color for 2 of the rows, and then you start the new color. So I've got a long ways to go on that, but I have got it started. So that's my first WIP to show you. A blanket here on the Knitting Turnpike. The next one is another blanket. Now, I have not got a lot done on this. I have shown you this. I did talk about this during Vlogmas. This is the 2023 Jimmy Beans Wool Blanket Club. Now, 2023, I have all the yarns. I showed you all the yarns. I'll put a little clip in here of all the yarns. I talked about them in one of my vlogs in December. And I have all the patterns now, which is to my advantage because this is a very modular blanket. As you can see, it looks like this. I'll put a picture, and it looks like that. You've got all these colors and all these little pieces. And right now, I'm just starting on January, which there's a lot of triangular pieces, a lot of rectangular pieces that you have to make. And that's what I've been working on. I have I just started yesterday. And I didn't get very far. Last night I did one little rectangle. And this is the January color. I did another little rectangle. And I'm working on the third little rectangle. There's 4 of these little rectangles. And then there's 2 triangular pieces. And then there's a longer rectangular piece that I have to use and do in this color called Snake. This is Madeline Tosh Vintage Yarn, which is a worsted weight yarn. And I have all of the colors, but this is what I had to do for January. So I'm starting with January. One of the things I am going to do is I'm going to look at all of the pattern, and some of these you have to put on wasted yarn, and I'm going to see if I can just continue those out without having to put them on wasted yarn, like look ahead. Like if I like the triangles for January, you have to put on wasted yarn to start knitting these. But I'm going to go and see where they go next so that when I get to finishing that, I can finish, pick up the color that goes next and knit that instead of having to put it on wasted yarn. Maybe save myself a little bit of time that way. We'll just see. Since I have the advantage of having the whole pattern in front of me, that's what I hope to do. So that's my plan with this. But I have got this started and am working on it a little bit. I know I'm not going to, again, these are all going to be things I'm going to kind of work on, like I'm going to try to work on January's clue and, for the first month and space it out through the whole year again, just because I want to be able to work on other things as well. And I think it'll be fun. I also am going to be doing the Jimmy Beans Wool Blanket Club for 2024. And that pattern is the Herbarium. That pattern is called Quilty by Jen Geigley. That one I just showed you, the modular geographical designs. The one for 2024 is Herbarium by Lena Skavargason. I hope I said that correctly. And I have not got the yarn yet for that. I did get see the pattern was released, and I'm waiting for the yarn. I think they just put it in the mail a couple of days ago, so it should be arriving in the mail any day now. So hopefully I will have something to show you guys in my next vlog. But I know the first color is, this is going to be a different yarn this year. They have a brand new yarn. It's called Madeline Tosh Blanket Yarn. And it's very similar to this. It's a worsted weight, 100% superwash merino. I think they just took this and made it into the blanket yarn. But the first color is called Cold Drip. And I will put a picture here so you can see what the color is. I picked the romantic version of this blanket to make for next year. So I'm excited about that. And again, I'll be doing a little bit every month because this one will be a mystery. I mean, I know what it looks like, but I don't know what colors they're going to be sending each month and what I have to knit to make that blanket each month. But I'm excited about that. The next one is another blanket. Now this one is called the Japanese Sampler Blanket. This one is by Toni Ella Renz. And this is I've knitted a couple of her projects before. The one you probably will remember the most is my Japanese sampler scarf. All these beautiful Japanese patterns, and it was so much fun to knit. That was another year-long mystery. Now, this is a year-long mystery knit-along. So once a month, you get a pattern. And this is a blanket, so we're getting squares. And the way that it's going to work is you have to do a row of 4 squares, so a vertical row of 4 squares. I'm going to show you my square here in a minute. And then you have to do 3 of those, and then you're going to have to seam those 3 rows to make the blanket at the end of the year. So that's how it works. If you're interested, I would love to have you join me in knitting it. And there's also, this is in the group called Knitting in the Loft. And it's another group in Ravelry where you share your projects and progress, and you get to see everybody else's work and hear what they're working on, how they're progressing and their thoughts. And it's a lot of fun to do a mystery knit along like that. So that's what this is. I'm going to be participating in it. If you would love to join me, I invite you. I would love that. It is a paid pattern. It is US $7, but it's a year-long project. So for $7, you get all this wonderful pattern. One thing you need to know is that it is a charted pattern only. There is no text. So you need to be able to read charts. And for the Japanese sampler scarf, there's a lot of cable stitches. For this first month, the cable stitches are pretty easy. I don't know what's going to happen throughout the rest of the year. There were some months in that Japanese sampler scarf where the stitches were a little bit more complicated than other months, but you have the whole month to knit up your square. Now this month there were 88 rows, but it was only 61 stitches, so it didn't take very long. Again, I'm going to show you here in a second. I'm trying to explain it first. So if you can knit charts and you want to do it, or if you want to try to learn how to knit charts, this would be a great opportunity. Again, you have the whole month to knit it out, so you could take it and write it to text and teach yourself how to knit using charts and learn a new skill and build upon that. For this blanket, you can knit it in sport weight or you can knit it in worsted weight. I'm using a worsted weight yarn. I think I said it was DK and then I was like, it's worsted. I was really confusing in my last video. But it is a worsted weight yarn. It's Cascade 220 Superwash Merino yarn. And I'm using the color Ruby, which is $8.93. And it looks like this. It's a dark red and really pretty red. And my husband kind of picked this color out. This is his favorite color. In 1 second, and I'll show you. I have 12 of those skeins. They're all about 220 yards. And so I have like 2,600 yards. I think you need about 2,600 yards of yarn. For this first skein, I used 67 grams of the 100 gram skein. I had 37 grams left over. I used 63 grams. I had 37 grams left over. That's right. That's what it was. And let me show you what this looks like. And the other thing about this pattern, before I show you, is there's a cabled version and there's a lacy version. And they look just alike, except that she took some of the cable stitches and converted them to lacy stitches. And so if you don't want to knit the cabled, where you're doing if you don't like the cables, and you still want to knit this, you can pick the lacy version. Now, I know some people are doing both. I thought about doing both, but then I looked at my project list and my queue, and I have a lot of other blankets going on right now, so I might knit the lacy version later, but not right now because I really have too many blankets going on. So this is what my square looks like. I'll put a picture here as well. It may be hard to see. I did pin it out. That might be the easier way to see it with a picture, but this is what it looks like. Isn't that pretty? I hope you can see the texture on this, but it's a really nice size square for sure. You can kind of see all the little beautiful cables on that. Isn't that pretty? And if there's 3 rows of these about the same size, that's going to be a nice size blanket. So I really love it, and it's nice and warm. Worsted weight yarn. I'm using a US 7 knitting needle. I'm a kind of a loose knitter. She recommended an 8, but I'm using a US 7. So if you'd like to jump in and knit this along with us, that would be great. And also, one other thing I want to mention is I did talk to Tony, who is the designer, and I told her I wanted to do the stitch tutorials for this pattern, and she said yes, go for it. So each month I'm going to be looking at all the stitches in this in each month's clues and putting together a video which select January stitches, February stitches, March stitches. And I've already filmed the stitches. I just got to edit it. So that will probably come out on Wednesday before the show, that will be the 24th of January. I will release the stitch tutorial for this. I know it's a little bit late. I kind of had the idea a little bit late. But in February, I'll try to release it a lot earlier. So if you are knitting it, you maybe need a little bit of, sometimes you're just more visual than reading the words. I know I am. I like to see a video of it. So I'll try to release that a little bit sooner. And it'll be, I think for my tutorials are always going to be like on a Tuesday or Wednesday or Thursday of the week. And then my vlogs are going to be on the weekends. So that's kind of what I'm thinking for my schedule for this year. And I hope that you like that. I hope that will work for you. But she said that definitely I could do the stitch tutorials, and she's excited about me doing that. And so I'm excited about doing that. And the other blanket I want to work on, I haven't started yet, but I do want to mention it just in case you guys want to make this along with me. This is called the Incredible Blanket. And I just love this. I was looking at some crocheted versions of this. Lucy of Attic 24 has kind of a similar blanket that looks like this. It's a granny square blanket, but I really am not a great crocheter, and so when I found this pattern, I was so excited. This is a knit pattern. It is a four row repeat, and you change colors every 2 rows, and I'm excited to start this. Now they sell a kit. This is their linen quill yarn, and it is beautiful. It is really beautiful, but it is, now the pattern is free on their website. I will link that down below. That's the other thing I'm excited about. This is a free pattern. The yarn, it was on sale, so they sold out before Christmas. So I was going to buy that, but I was like, they haven't restocked it. They've just been sold out. But my Advent boxes, I think, are going to come into play. I was thinking about, since I'm scrapping the Cozy Comfort Throw from the Aberdeen wool box from last year, I'm going to be using that box. And I'm going to be using the Aberdeen wool box from this year. Now, the yarn that they use in their kits is about 110 yards per little skein. They give you these little mini skeins, are 110 yards. They have about 40 skeins, 40 colors. And the Aberdeen wool boxes are 24 colors. They're 110 yards per skein. So I actually have 8 extra that will help. And if I want to make the blanket a little bit bigger, I can. The only thing they ask you to do, and that's one thing I'm going to be working on the next couple of weeks, is I'm going to be winding all 48 of those mini skeins so I don't have to stop and wind every time I want to pick a color. And they also recommend that you divide your yarn into warm two sections, or two piles, a warm pile and a cool pile. So like in the warm pile, you have reds, oranges, yellows, yellow greens, pinks, all the warm colors. And in the cool pile, you will have like grays, blues, purples, cooler colors, browns, things like that. So you can, I think you're going to pick a warm color and a cool color. Now, looking at my Aberdeen wool boxes, this year was very cool. There was a lot of blues and blue greens, and there's quite a bit of cool colors in 2022. So I may have to mix it up. I know I have some mini skeins from Homespun House, but they're all kind of the same color, but they are bright pink. And I've also started pulling out some of my stash yarns. I know I have a lot of pinks. Like this one is a pink I could use. I'm just going to try to make sure that they're fingering weight, and I know that's at least 110 yards. So I'm going to have to take a look. Fortunately for this one, I have the label, and I can go back and make sure that I do the math and try to make sure I have enough yarn. This is actually the yarn I just used for my MCAL calendar stole, but it is a warm color, and I could use that. Now this yarn is from the Miss May Make Along. This is Amanda Hope. That's kind of a warm pink, and this is a warm kind of a green. Or no, that's a green gray. This is the green. No, this is the blue. So that's cool. I wouldn't use that one. And then this is a light yellow. So I could use that as well for a warm color. I'm looking mostly for warm colors because, like I said, I have a lot of blues already. There are, again, I'm going to be going through my stash. I love this one. This one's another one from Amanda Hope. It is a DK weight yarn, but I still could use it. Now, this isn't a DK weight, and I probably have enough of it. This is just like a warm acid green. It's kind of like a yellow green. That would be warm. So I'm thinking about using that. I also have a DK weight in the same color. If I have a lot of that, so I could use that for sure as a color pop. This is a full skein of yarn, but I think it would go really well. This is from Miss Babs, and this is another, this is an orange color. This is Dark Andromeda, and that would be really nice as a nice warm color. I know I don't have any oranges in either one of those boxes, so that would be kind of nice for them to make a colorful blanket. So I'm going to go through my scraps in that bag, and then I've got another bag of scraps over there, and pull out all the ones that consider to be warm colors, and they don't have to be all solid tonal colors. They could also be variegated. So I know I've got some variegated sock yarns over there as well. I'm going to pull out some of those and just make sure that I have at least 110 yards. And then I think what you end up doing is you repeat the color orders. Like you use it and put it, you can do random, or you can keep a list and repeat it again just the same way. I believe you have to repeat them like about 7 times. They give you a list of their colors, how they did their colors on the pattern. I'm not, I don't have their yarn. This is only helpful if you have the yarn, but you could use it to like figure out kind of pick from your pile, like peony pink, cobalt blue. You could kind of pick colors that you have in your stash around those if you want. But let's see how many repeats there are, or how many color rows there are. 280. So if you have 40, that's 7 repeats of the colors again. So anyway, it'll be fun. I'm going to try to keep it on the list myself and do the repeats. And again, that is their linen quill minis yarn. But again, they are sold out, and they have been sold out for a while. And that's okay. I'm actually really excited about using my Aberdeen wool boxes and using as much of that as I can. And that's why I'm explaining this, because I hope maybe you guys will want to do this with me. Take a look at your stash, see what you have, and put something together, because this is a great scrappy project. Again, you don't even have to use the same scraps like every, say like I just said, 7 repeats. Say like you don't have that much of the scrap. Just use what you have, and it'll just be more colorful. You'll just need to make sure you have enough to make it the size that you want. You don't even have to make it the size that they made it. You can make it shorter or longer or wider or smaller. You can adjust this to how, whatever size you want it to be, and make it work with the scraps that you have as well. So I think it's a great scrap buster blanket project, and I'm going to be starting it, and I'm excited to do it. I hope you'll want to do that. Maybe do that with me. If you are going to do that with me, let me know down in the comments below, or shoot me an email. My email is in the description box of every video, and we can talk about it as we go along. I'm going to try to do a little bit every month, and just give you project updates once a month on that as I have time. If I get to it, maybe I get behind a month and I have to space it out every couple of months. We'll just see how it goes. I hope I can keep up with it every month and keep on top of it, so that by the end of the year, I will have used up 2 of my Advent boxes and a gorgeous project that I'll be able to use. And the thing I love about these blankets I've picked out is they are all different. That one is so colorful and stripy, and it's a beautiful knitted pattern, different than the modular blankets I'm going to be making from Jimmy Bean Wool. Those are more like quilt looking blankets with the different pieces, especially the quilty. Of course, it's called quilty, but it's got all the little geometric shapes with the squares and the triangles, and long triangles, skinny, fat triangles. And so it's very much like a pieced quilt. The other one is real modular as well. It's got different size squares and long squares, normal squares. So those look like that. And then, of course, the one that I'm doing for the Japanese sampler cable blanket is just main squares that are probably going to all be the same size, and then rows of them. And that'll be the beautiful thing about that is we're going to get all these beautiful cables, these Japanese cables, and knitting. The design is just going to be what's so pretty about that is that's just going to pop and catch your eye. So they're all very different. So I'm excited about knitting them. And again, I've never knitted 4 big blankets at the same time in my life, but that's going to be over the course of this year. All of them will be over the course of the year. I don't think I'll sit and make myself finish one, although it would be fun to do that. But I do have other projects I want to work on. I have a lace shawl, a Romy Hill Lace Lovers shawl pattern that just was released at the end of December that I want to cast on with those 2. I showed you those 2 colors from that she sent from Sweet Georgia Yarns. I have the pattern. I want to cast on for that and get that going. I have a lot of other things, some socks. I want to try to be working on some socks, and I have tons of tops and sweaters I want to make right now. Even one of them is a crochet sweater. So I'm just trying to do all the things and just spread myself out a little bit. I don't mind having, a lot of people are very monogamous. They want to start a project and finish it. Me, I can kind of space them out. Now, I don't want to get it to the point where I still have some of these over here to frog. I don't want to get it back to that point ever again. I want to finish these this year. But I am giving myself the grace to finish them and the time to finish them and have fun with it and not be stressed out about it. But also just use up some of this yarn I have in my stash and these Advent boxes. And because if I do that blanket with those 2 Advent boxes, I will have used those 2. I used up the Suburban Stitcher one already. And then the Ruby and Roses 2 that I have some beautiful sweater projects in mind for that. So those will all be used up. And I have a shawl pattern for the Swoon fibers I got 2 years ago. So I just need to use them, and I'll feel really good that I bought them and used them, and they're not just sitting there waiting to be used. And so that's kind of the goal here and kind of the plan. And again, if you are knitting any of these projects with me, please let me know. Also, please let me know what you guys are working on. I like to encourage you guys to tell me what you are working on. I mean, this isn't all about me sharing what I'm doing all the time. Please let me know what you guys are doing. I draw inspiration from you guys. And I hope you draw inspiration from me. And we are a share community. And let me know what's going on with you guys. I love hearing that. So please share that in the comments below if you want. I would love to hear that from you and know what's going on in your crafting world. Now we're going to move on to the yarn and stitch markers. Now, I know I said when I started this vlog that I have a lot. I do. Let me put a little picture. This is all the stuff I've received since the beginning of the year. I know. It's a mess. But I am going to limit myself. I could sit here and talk to you guys probably for another 30 minutes, 40 minutes about these yarn and stitch markers, maybe longer. But I'm just going to go through one. And today we're going to look at some Canadian people I've never bought from before. So I'm excited about that. Let's go ahead and get into, let's do the stitch markers first. I've never bought from this company before. I found them on Etsy. They are called Mouse Garden. They are out of Calgary, Canada. Both of these two I'm going to share today are out of Canada. So I know there's a lot of people who follow me who are in Canada, and I know sometimes when I share stuff from U.S. dyers or U.S. yarn companies, it is harder for you guys to buy from them because of the taxes and customs fees that are put on items that you guys purchase here in the United States. So I wanted to take a look at some Canadian dyers. You guys have a lot of Canadian yarn companies and stitch marker companies. I have quite a few more Canadian people to share with you that I'll be sharing. I've got them. I just need to share them. Like I said, I'm going to space them out. But beautiful yarn dyers from Canada. So you guys have a good opportunity as well. And I want to share what I've found. You may already know these. Maybe you don't. I hope that these are new to you and that you will find them interesting. Again, this is Mouse Garden. I will link her Etsy store in the description box below. I got a couple of stitch markers from her. And let's take a look at them. It came in this cute little organza bag. I bought this right after Christmas. So I think she had some kind of sale. And let's see. The first one are these beautiful Progress Keepers. I love butterflies. This beautiful butterfly. Look at that one. And here's another one. Little Progress Keepers. And then here's the third one. It's a beautiful blue butterfly. Isn't that pretty? So Progress Keepers, my Mouse Garden, and then the next one I got is some more birds. I gave away some of the birds I had received during Christmas. And I was like, saw this and I was like, oh, I'll get these. This is, again, by Mouse Garden. These are so cute. They got the little Christmas marker on there. Like the blue jay. Look at that. Isn't that cute? And the cardinal. Love cardinals. I'm sorry, I don't know what that second one was. Here's the goldfinch. I'm having trouble seeing you guys. And then this one, I love how they have like little hats, Santa hats or little scarves on. And then this one, the robin. Aren't those cute? So cute. So those are the stitch markers I got from Mouse Garden out of Canada, Calgary, Canada. Now the next item I got is a yarn dyer out of Canada. Now this one I found from my friend Judy, Judy's Creations in Crochet. I mentioned her. She opened up the Advent box from this yarn company. It's called Borealis. And she has an Etsy store as well, Borealis Fiber. She is out of Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. And she has some really beautiful yarns. The ones that Judy opened for her Advent were a sparkle Advent. So pretty. That was my favorite Advent that Judy opened, was the Advent from Borealis. So I went looking on her site just to see what she had. And I found this beautiful yarn set. This is called the Cascadia West Coast Fade. So this is a fade. These are 20 gram minis. There's 12 of them. It's called Cascadia. There's 888 yards in this set. This is 80% merino wool, 20% nylon. Now, if you can see the colors in this, these are just some tonal colors. Aren't they pretty? I'll show you the other side. They're like blues, blue grays, greens, and black. A little bit of black. Isn't that pretty? And that's from Borealis Fibers. And she has a lot of beautiful yarn offerings. She even had this set in the full skeins. So you could have gotten the 10 gram mini skeins, 20 gram mini skeins, or the full skeins, which was amazing. But anyway, I'm excited about that. I'm excited about trying out her yarns. And I love the 80% merino wool with the 20% nylon mix. I just love that mix of yarn. It's squishy, bouncy, has some great stitch definition. So I'm excited about trying those out. Let's see. So that's all I'm going to show today. I have a ton more I can show. I'm just going to show that today, and we'll look at some more in a couple of weeks when I come back with a vlog in February. So now let's go into upcoming events. I've already mentioned that next week on Saturday, the 27th, I will not be having a vlog. That is because I'm going to be doing a live show with my friend Judy of Judy's Creations and Crochet. She and I did a live show in December. We decided after the live show, and we got some feedback, that we would do a make-along. She does all these make-alongs, and one of my goals for this year is to do more make-alongs with you guys, because I have done this in the past and I really miss it. It's a wonderful way for me to interact with you, and in a crafting capacity as well, where we get to make something together, and you inspire me and hopefully I can inspire you, and we can make something, and at the end we'll have a beautiful project. So on the 27th of January, that's a Saturday, 11 o'clock my time, which is Central Standard, 12 o'clock Judy's time, which is East Coast Standard, 9 o'clock West Coast. We'll be doing a live show, and whatever that correlates to your time. Now, I'll put a link to the live show below. It is already on my channel. We'll be doing this on my channel, the live show portion of it, and we hope you guys can come and show up. What we have that I can tell you about. We have two patterns picked out. One is crochet and one is knit. Judy will handle the crochet portion. I will handle the knit portion. And these patterns were designed by a designer to look exactly like each other. So it's the crochet versus the knit. And if you're a knit person, you can knit with me, knit the pattern with me. If you're a crochet person, you can knit the pattern with Judy. Now, she's going to be sharing progress updates throughout the month of February. We'll be wrapping it up in March, and we'll be explaining all of this in the live show. So please come to the live show. I'm not going to give you any more details. We'll be talking about what the pattern is, what kind of yarns you're going to need. We're going to be showing you what we're going to be using for our projects. Neither one of us have cast on. We're going to cast on the same time you cast on. We're going to be knitting this along with you, and we'll be giving you all the dates and all the details about what's going to happen with the make-along. So if you're looking for something to make, if you want to maybe do both, try knit and crochet, I think you could do it in the time frame that we have. If you want to try knit and you're not a knitter, but you want to try it, this is a good time to do that. If you are more of a knitter and want to try the crochet, this is a good time as well. But we would love for you to join us. Again, that is January the 27th. And I'll be doing that in lieu of a vlog that day, since I do my vlogs on Saturdays. And we will, hopefully you guys will want to come and see what it's all about. And hopefully you'll want to participate. We would love to have you join us on that. And I think it was going to be a lot of fun. I haven't done a make-along in a while with you guys. And I'm really, really excited about it. And it's been a long time coming. I'm so sorry it has been so long since we've done something like that. I think, my friends, that is all I have for today. And I really appreciate you being with me today, and let me share all these things with you. I hope and pray you're all doing well. I hope you're all very safe, very warm, and just enjoying this time of crafting. I always think of winter as my time when I can sit and knit and craft. Now, for those of you who are in the part of the world where it's summer, I hope you're doing lighter projects and enjoying your crafting just as much. And I appreciate your being here, spending time with me today. And I wish you all the very best. And I will see you all very, very soon. Thank you so much. Take care of yourselves. Bye.